Hello, my babies. It's your girl MamMaJ, aka MamMaJ, and you are listening to MamMaJism. If it is your first time here, welcome. If it is not, welcome back. But if you are new here, I do want you to know that we are on week 3 of our mindfulness and self-esteem challenge. So if you want to start from the beginning, which I highly recommend, go ahead and take a couple episodes back. I want to say it's episode 43, where we start with week 1, and that is on the art of non-judgment. And then week 2 is the art of non-striving, and then week 3 is on spaciousness. Now, before I actually get into the week 3, I kind of want to check in a little bit. How did we like the art of non-striving? What did y'all think? I know for me personally, it's really weird because of the fact that we are in this like quarantine / lockdown type of situation. I know that especially at the beginning of this time, I was forcing myself to be like, hey, you have all this time now because you're not doing all these other things. So now you have no choice but to grind, go hard, work at it, do whatever you got to do, which I did. And it put me in the position that I'm in now. However, I definitely could have used more moments of non-striving. And I think that's also the point too that I want to make clear. Non-striving, this isn't telling you, okay, now go non-strive for a year. Nobody's saying that. Don't quit your day job, okay? Don't just start slacking off because MamMaJ said it's time to non-strive. No, pick your moments where you're going to be present and mindful and, just be in the moment. But again, these are moments that we're talking about. And if you don't know what a moment is, I'm going to need you to look it up. Okay, MamMaJ can't hold your hand through everything, all right? Y'all got to have this one on your own. So I just wanted to make that clear because I know that it can probably come off as me saying, yeah, go do nothing and then just live in the moment. Because realistically, you do have to strive. Striving is important. It's just a lot of us have a problem with over striving and doing too much all the time. And sometimes you need to just loose it out, chill out, just vibe, feel the moment, that's it. That's all. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. I would be very interested to hear y'all's experience, just because I know mine was a little kind of wonky, a little weird to get used to, but in the moments when I did actually take the time to kind of just be, it felt good and I liked it. All right. Now, that was week 2. Now we're on to week 3, and it is about spaciousness. Now, I will define what spaciousness means in a moment, but I'm going to start it off with an example like it did on the app that I use for this challenge. And so let's just go ahead and put our minds in this place where just think of a time when you were down in the dumps, you were having a bad day, whatever reason, and you just had all these negative thoughts coming at you, telling you you're not good enough, you're inadequate, you suck, whatever the case may be. Insert negative thought here, right? So usually what happens is when we kind of boggle our minds down with these negative thoughts, it becomes a cramped space, right? Like a little tiny prison where we just keep inserting these negative thoughts in that little box, and there's nowhere else for these thoughts to go, and so they just keep circulating. And then what happens is we eventually start to perpetuate that onto other people, or it shows in our work, shows in our smiles or our lack of smiles. We just keep feeding into it because that's all that we see, that's all that we feel, that's all that we hear in our heads and our minds, all that greatness, right? And so what we're saying now is, in terms of mindfulness and paying attention to our thoughts and the things that we allow ourselves to kind of feed too much into, it's practicing this type of mindfulness to allow us to hold these emotions without actually obsessing over them. So we can learn to be with these negative feelings without actually trying to push them away, because we don't want to do that. The moment you start pushing feelings away, that is when, it comes back later to bite you in the ass. And we don't want that. We don't want that. We want to make sure that whatever we're feeling, we tackle it head on, and then we move forward, and then we keep going. We hit that shit head on, and then we just keep pushing past it, because we got it like that. So when we're talking about these negative thoughts and these, us putting these negative thoughts in this tiny little box and just stuffing them in, this is where spaciousness comes into play. Now, what is spaciousness, you ask? Well, spaciousness is an alternative to keeping thoughts and emotions bottled up in a small space where they're the most dense, right? So it's like letting your mind be free, like a large, expansive field. It's allowing you to be open, it's allowing you to be receptive and accepting of all things, both positive and negative, right? We don't want our mind to just be negative. And when our mind is this tiny box and it's only filled with negative emotions, we're not allowing anything else to come in. We're not allowing the positive or the neutral even to come into play. So this is what spaciousness is all about. So an example that they had, it was a visual. So if you are a visual learner like me, you can go ahead and hop onto my YouTube, because I'm going to actually visually show you this demonstration, or you can use your mind. You can visualize it yourself. But what this calls for is a shot glass and then a regular glass. Now we're going to use glass because we want to be able to see through it, right? So we're going to fill both the shot glass and the regular glass with water. And in their demonstration, they used food coloring. I don't have that, but I do have chlorophyll, which is green. Chlorophyll, not chloroform, okay? I have chlorophyll. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that instead of food coloring, but it's going to pretty much have the same effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the same amount of drops in each container. So we're going to start with the shot glass. I'm going to put 4 drops of the chlorophyll in the shot glass and stir. And as we can see, when the chlorophyll fully dissolves into the water, all we see is green, right? It's hard for us to kind of look past the shot glass, when we just had the water in it, of course we could see past it because water is clear. But with this chlorophyll in it, it's hard for us to see past, and all we see is just the green, right? So moving on to the cup of water, I'm going to put the same 4 drops of the chlorophyll inside of this water and give it a nice stir. And as you can see, yes, it's green, but it's not as powerful or as strong or as a color as the shot glass, because now this cup is larger, right? And it has more water in it, which means the chlorophyll now has more space for it to move around, and we can see through it, which means we can see through to the finish line, right? So how does this relate to what we're talking about when we talk about spaciousness in our minds? Okay, so we're looking at both the shot glass and we're looking at the glass of water. These are 2 items where we put the same amount of chlorophyll in, but they look different. The shot glass is darker. So chlorophyll in this case is equal to our negative thoughts, or anything that we don't want to hold on to forever, And so when we put our negative thoughts into our tiny minds, so the shot glass, for example, that's all we see. We can't see the finish line. We can't see what's happening on the other side of the glass. We just see green. So we just see negativity. Now, when we move on to the larger glass, with the 4 negative thoughts inside of it, we see that it has more space to move around, which means that now we can also add in other colors. We can also add in some positive thoughts. We can add in some neutral thoughts. There's more room for us to, not just focus on the negative. The shot glass didn't allow us to focus on anything but the negative because the mind was so small. But with this larger glass of water, we're able to, dig deeper and feel more than just the anger, the hurt, the resentment, right? And so this is a really, really good demonstration, because I don't know about y'all, but for me, the challenge wasn't really hitting until I seen the visual, and I was like, ooh, Snaps and claps, y'all got it. And so that is pretty much that. In terms of the actual challenge, I challenge all of you to just spend some time really evaluating your mind and how you view things. Now, if we're talking about ways to actually expand your mind and to practice spaciousness, meditation, number one. Come on. I know a lot of you like to skip through to the actual content part of my podcast, and I thank you for listening, but truly you're not getting the full experience. You're not getting the full experience if you're not tuning in to the actual meditation itself. I'm not putting it up there just to fill space, to fill time and space. That's not like it's there for a reason, and I really want y'all to tap in to your meditative bag, because once you do that, I'm telling you, possibilities are endless. And I'm not even trying to sound like cliche or anything like that. I'm so serious, and I mean every word. So please give meditation a true shot. The ones of you who like to fast forward, yeah, I'm looking and I'm talking to you, okay? Listen to the damn meditation. Now, another way, journaling. Honestly, if you're thinking, like, breaking down the word spaciousness, what does it mean to be spacious? To be open, right? So, like, number one thing you want to do is to open up your mind so that you can actually be able to internalize what it is that is being asked of you. If you're not open-minded, you're not allowed to kind of try new things because you're closed-minded. You're not allowing yourself to try new things. So, being open, journaling, meditating, all those things are going to help you to have a more spacious mind. Now, in terms of the challenge itself, spend some time actually thinking about the demonstration that I talked about earlier, right? The shot glass and the larger glass. Now, these things are going to help you to kind of put things into perspective. See if you can open the walls of your mind that keep your thoughts trapped. Can you let compassion come into play? So with that larger glass, you're now able to fill it with whatever you want, not just the negative thoughts. So why not give compassion a go? You know what I mean? I think that'll definitely be a great thing to add. Even neutral thoughts as well. Just don't let yourself be consumed and suffocated by just the negative. And try to make space so you can accept the negative emotions, hold them, and then release them. That is a very important part. We want to lean into our emotions and feel what we feel, but we also need to know when to let them go. We can't hold on to all of our feelings all the time. We have to know when to hold them and when to let them go. And only then will you be able to see what's on the other side. So I really hope that you enjoyed this week's challenge and this week's episode. Please let me know how it goes for you, and really give it a shot. Please. I just want the better for all of you. I love you all so much, okay? So until next time, it's your girl signing out. Thank you for listening. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and follow all the socials at MamMaJism. That's MamMaJism. If you decide you want to financially support me, on my accounts you'll be able to find out how. Thanks in advance. Until we meet again, please be kind to one another. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you. I'm feeling so